Hello and welcome to another episode of the Top 3 Pen series. In this pen series, we ask penfluencers their personal top 3 pens. The question is quite easy. The question is, which 3 pens would you take with you if your house is on fire? If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to do that right now so you won't miss out on a video. On this episode, we have an amazing guest. It is a really tall guest. It is a really I don't know what to say. It is Teun from Giant Pens, and we're going to ask Teun the same question as we did as all our previous people that also made a video. Teun, which 3 pens would you take with you if your house is on fire?
Thank you, Joost. I think the one thing that stuck with me a bit is this is the first time I've been called a penfluencer. I think so. I'll take that as a huge compliment. But I'm not sure if I want to influence people on what they should think about pens. Uh, but I do have an idea on what to bring with me when my house is on fire. If my house is on fire, let's hope it never happens. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. Um, so the one nice thing is that all of my main or the pens that I adore the most are all together in a nice Galen leather case. So they if my house were to go on fire and I'd have to take one with me, I'd take all of them with me. But I do understand the question. Um, so I did pick out 3 very nice pens, and I want to start with one that is very dear to me due to multiple reasons. Because I am I think I would call myself a fanboy of Japanese fountain pens. The quality is outstanding. The nips are amazing. The choices are fairly large. Also in kinds of nibs, not just fine, medium, broad, but there's especially from a few specialty nibs that you can get from some brands. Makes it very interesting. I'm talking about music nibs, but also the things like the Falcon or the Sailor Specialty Nib series. So that's why I like them. But my favorite Japanese pen that I have is my Namiki Nippon Art, which I hope you can see right here. This has been with me for a fair amount of time now. It was the first, I would say, more expensive fountain pen that I ever got. As with most of my pens, I didn't really get it new. I bought it secondhand from someone who took very good care of it and who told me that I would be the first one to ink it if I started using it. I inked it immediately after I got it. So pens are to be used, in my opinion. But to each their own, of course. But since this was the first one, this was also my segue into fountain pens. And while I have a Sailor King of pens that I just love and will use regularly, I would still pick this one over that because of the what it means for me into the journey as what I am now as a pen maker, a pen enjoyer, a pen enthusiast is what I should say. And I think that even if what's said about these pens, the Nippon Arts, is that they're not hand drawn. It's all done with let's call it a drawing foil essentially. The technique, the urushi technique, the amount of skill, patience, dedication that comes from Japan, that comes from the artists that do urushi work is amazing, and I would almost say insane, but in a very good way. They really do show that they're super dedicated to the craft and that they are doing things that I couldn't even imagine of doing essentially. So that's my number one that I will always hold dear. I think my number 2 then is also because of the artistic things behind it, but it's one that I made myself. And this one is a bit special because of multiple reasons. It is one that is actually a copy of a different one. This was something that I planned, really. I made a pen for someone who had recently had a breast cancer and had undergone surgery to have one of her breasts removed, which is very sad, but I'm very happy that she got through it and managed to to get rid of the cancer, even if that meant losing something else. And her girlfriend once came up to me and Joep and said, well, she gets a pen for every important milestone in her life. And while this is not a happy moment, it is still a milestone. And I want to show her that broken things, as we would call it at a certain point, broken things are still beautiful. And there's a few combinations that we had. First, we went into the shop and we picked out a resin that she really liked, which was one made by Diamond Cast from by Tim McKenzie, who does the Diamond Cast line, which is material that has real diamond dust, ethically sourced diamond dust embedded in it. I'm not showing the pen because I want to do the full story first, because it all ties together in the end. And then we decided to use that for a part of the pen. And very quickly I had the idea to use burlwood. Burlwood is when the hormones inside of a tree, by damage, sickness, or anything else, get disturbed, and the hardwood and the sapwood inside of a tree starts growing uncontrollably. Pen makers use this a lot because it makes a very nice wood that has a lot of detail, that has a lot of character inside of it. I really liked this idea because I had used the term, it's kind of equivalent to a cancer inside of a human, uncontrollable growth of a tree, uncontrollable growth inside of a human body. I like that comparison. While it may not be a very happy comparison, it is a comparison in this case. And then we started thinking further. What can we do to symbolize something broken that is more beautiful after it's healed? And the Japanese have a very nice term for this. Also coming back to Hoshi, it's kintsugi, where broken lacquer ware is repaired by using gold. At a lack of words, I would say gold infused lacquer that is then used to heal the cracks. Well, I wasn't open to throwing a piece of wood on the floor and seeing if I could lacquer it open again, nor were we able to afford pure gold. We did figure something out, and it came to a pen that looks like this. And I'm very sure that you won't see much here, but I am also quite sure, or maybe sure, that Joost could add some B-roll footage of this. But the cap is then made of the diamond cast, as is the section. And the body here is made of that burlwood. And you can see that it's a very busy wood compared to the wood that you would get for a desk or a table. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of spots, a lot of things. It's also been dyed blue to match the cap. And while this looks very much like the original pen, there is some difference because this exact piece of diamond cast is a bit different from the one that we used for her pen. But I'll come to that next. But there's a little line in here, and maybe you could see it in the reflection in the camera. A little line in there, which is hand engraved and then filled in with gold pigment and then sealed afterwards. And the reason as to why I made a replica, which the whole pen was finished and we were all very happy with the outcome, and it was actually a very emotional moment of giving her the pen that I'm still very fond of. The reason why I made this is because at the university where I study, we had a exposition of either students or staff that made art. And I was convinced by someone to hand in or to place a few pens there as for the exhibition, because my pieces were also art. And in that whole communication, I had sent a few pictures of pens that we made to the organizers of the exhibition, and they had picked this pen, as in, could you bring that to me, or could you bring that here to to display to everyone? But the pen was already with her, and I didn't feel like I wanted to ask her to bring it so we could have it at an exhibition. It was her pen. It's not my not. I wouldn't want to ask. So I decided, well, I don't want to make a replica. So instead of going for the perfect match, which was what the wood originally was, the color of the wood with the color of the diamond cast, I decided on changing out the color of the diamond cast, keeping the rest the same. So I didn't make a replica, but I made something very equal, and I'm very happy I did, because this is one that I constantly carry now, as it's the whole idea behind it. The design process is still one of my better pens, not in terms of how the finished product looks, but with the design idea, I do think so. And then, of course, a pen like this, I cannot go without having one of Annabelle's nibs in there. This is a silver nib that Annabelle made, one of the first ones I think she made again. And it's a joy to write with. I use this one probably the most out of all of my pens. So yeah, that's it. But then we still have a number 3, which is also has a bit of a story. I would say a bit of a personal story, but not as much as the other ones. But it doesn't really fit in this line. But it's the Waterman Edson, which many see as the well, I would say better predecessor of the Waterman Karen, or Karen, or how you would like to pronounce it. The Edson itself doesn't really have that much meaning to it for me. The Carene does, because it's the fountain pen that my dad has used for years and years and years, and is the one that got me a bit more interested in fountain pens originally. Because it's the one that Dad always takes out of his pocket to write with, and in his agenda, and when we were planning things, and when we were sitting at the table. It's also a pen that Joop, my brother, who I'm running Giant Pens together with, is very fond of. He has one, and he's not that much of a collector. He's more of a user, so he has a few that he really likes using instead of many that he does, and that's one that he uses as well. And while the Carene is not for me entirely, the way it holds is just something I can't really get along with. This one is. I use it regularly because it really does make me think about the Carene, and what that links me to a pen that for some reason everybody in the family loves, or all the men in the family love, I would say. So I think that's it. And while
I love it.
I could add a lot more and make a top 20, I think these are the 3 I would bring with me.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Teun, for your stories behind your top 3 pens. They were lovely stories, quite impressive stories. And thank you again. To everybody watching to the YouTube channel right now, make sure to subscribe. And next time we have another top 3 pens. Bye bye.